Hey guys, it's Mason from Tasting Anarchy. This is a quick mini episode from Jake. He's always got something fun and interesting to say, so take a listen.
Down in Petersburg, everything's fine. All them cats is drinking that wine. Drinking that mess is their delight. When you get drunk, start singing all night. Drinking wine's for you to drink wine. Wine's for you to drink wine. Wine's for you to drink wine. Pass that bottle to me. Drinking that mess is their delight. When it gets drunk, start fighting all
Hey
night.
everybody, it's Jake from Tasting Anarchy here. Today I've got a quick mini episode for you. It's basically just a wine review. If you've been listening to the show for a long time, particularly these minis, you'll realize that I am really keen on trying Texas wines because that's where I live now. Probably if I was still back in Virginia, I'd always be trying Virginia wines. And I'm also a huge fan of Cabernet Franc. I had my first Cabernet Franc with Nate, who was on one of the past episodes back at Green Hill Winery, and I've sort of been chasing that for quite a while. You know, kind of chasing that flavor, I guess. Or not flavor exactly, but there was just something about it that I absolutely loved. It was just like a Cabernet Franc should be, well structured, but also had kind of a level of butteriness to it that was just very different than anything I'd ever tasted. So now, anytime I get a chance, I get a Cabernet Franc. And I was at Kroger and noticed that they had a new Texas wine that I hadn't seen before. You know, I always walk through the Texas section because I want Texas wines. And they had, I'm going to try my best to say this, but I've recently been, well, this will tie into the show later on. So it's Messina Hof Cabernet Franc 2016. This is from one of the larger vineyards or wineries, I guess, in Texas, Messina Hof. When I saw this, it kind of sparked a memory. I've been reading this blog for a while called Texas Wine Lover, I think. It is, let me look. Yeah, Texas Wine Lover. I talk to the guy sometimes on Twitter. He's a really cool dude. And he's actually the one who pointed this out. I've been saying Llano Estacado for a long time. It's a double L, and in Spanish, double L is like an E sound, so it's Llano. And I feel like an idiot because I've been saying it so long, so I just kind of wanted to correct myself. He actually pointed that out, which I thought was very helpful of him. But I remembered that on the Texas Wine Lover blog, there was a review for the Messina Hof Cabernet Franc. And, I've been reading this blog now for a couple of months, and one of the things that I do when I find like a new blog or new website that has wine reviews is I go search for my favorite types of wine. So I grabbed this bottle thinking it was the one that he reviewed, or at least a different vintage of the one he reviewed. And turns out that it's not. The one that he reviewed is actually still available, and it was the Private Reserve Cabernet Franc. The one that I got is Barrel Cuvée Cabernet Franc. So it's actually, for Cabernet Franc at this price, I think was quite good. It still had that sort of additional Texas flavor that I've noticed with a lot of Texas wines. It's not off-putting at all. It's just, every time I talk about Texas wine, I kind of want to point this out. There is some sort of flavor, and I'm starting to identify that flavor in my mind, at least with heat. So there is sort of just a taste on it, not hot like alcohol, but hot like the grapes were hot at some point. It's a different taste. But this, for Cabernet Franc, at $12 a bottle, was really very, very good. So I'll go ahead and read you the tasting notes that Messina Hof has on their website, and I'll go ahead, and then I'll kind of tell you what I thought about it too. So it says, Messina Hof Barrel Cuvée Cabernet Franc is a rich red wine made in the classic Bordeaux style. The acidity of this full-bodied wine gives it flavors of red plum and raspberry. After being aged in oak barrels, this classic wine has deep earth and pepper notes as well. I think that tasting notes were fairly accurate. It is quite acidic. I think it's maybe giving it a little bit more acidity than it has in the description. I guess maybe not, because they just say it's acidity, but it's fairly full bodied. It is acidic. I don't ever detect raspberry because I think it's too delicate of a taste, but red ripe plum I think is accurate. I didn't really taste a whole lot of oak on it, but I'd be interested to see maybe a steel aged Cab Franc versus an oak aged Cab Franc. I'm not really sure. It is a little bit peppery, very, very small amount of peppery, and it does have sort of that Cabernet Franc-y earthiness to it that I really enjoy. It's not nearly as tannic as like a Cabernet Sauvignon, which, Cabernet Franc is the parent of Cabernet Sauvignon, or one of the parents of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's not as tannic. It's a lot more delicate. It's almost, Cabernet Franc reminds me, the best way I can always describe it is like a good French Pinot Noir with those kind of mineraliness and earthiness mixed with a California Cab Sauv. So it does have some of the acidity of the Cab Sauv, but it's much more mellow and delicate than, just a lot more delicate than a Cab Sauv. And it's less punch, less in-your-face flavors. It's a little more delicate. And I think that this was a good representation of that. And surprising from Texas, I don't really, this is not one of the types of grapes that I identify with this state, but I think they've done a good job. So there's some winemaker notes here too. It says, this full-bodied wine is fermented in stainless steel with 4 weeks of skin contact. It is then aged in oak barrels to develop maturity and depth. Serve at 65 degrees Fahrenheit. As always, I do not do it the way that they say to do it. I serve it at whatever room temperature is on top of the fridge. So it might be close to 65, but my guess is closer to 70, 72, 73. So it might even be better if I had served a little bit less. But back to Texas Wine Lovers. So I had recalled that he did a review of Messina Hof Cabernet Franc, but what he did a review of was the Messina Hof Cabernet Franc 2014 Private Reserve, which seems like it's a little bit higher end than this one. They didn't have it at Total Wine. They also didn't have it at Kroger. But while I was looking at Messina Hof, it turns out that they have a tasting room in Grapevine, which is only 20 minutes or so away from me. So I think I might go up there and try to find this Cabernet Franc, because this cheaper one that was at Kroger made a really good impression on me. I think it's an excellent choice if you want to bring a Texas Cabernet Franc to somebody's house, or if you want to bring a Cabernet Franc, you don't want to break the bank, and you want some sort of novelty, which bringing a Texas wine still. Outside of Texas, if you can get a Texas wine, it's interesting because, everybody gets a California, everybody gets an Oregon or a Washington or a French or whatever. But how many people do you know that are bringing Texas wine to their dinner parties? And it's unique. It's different. It has its own flavor to it. Like I said, there is a Texasiness to this that I don't really detect from other places. And I think it's a lot of fun. So let me go ahead and read to you what they said about the Messina Hof Cabernet Franc Private Reserve, and we'll go ahead and end the episode there. It says, Cabernet Franc is a medium to full-bodied red wine with bold aromas of leather and dried herbs complemented with dark black fruit flavors. Oak aging adds a beautiful addition of vanilla undertones. The winemaker's notes are, Cabernet Franc is known for an ancient grape varietal and is the father of Cabernet Sauvignon. When Paul Vincent and Merrill Benarigo, I apologize for getting their names wrong, went to Saint Emilion in the early 90s, they visited Chateau Asson. They remembered the wonderful chocolate aromas in the wine and decided to pursue Cabernet Franc for Texas. Serve at 65 degrees Fahrenheit. If you guys get a chance to grab this one, go ahead and do it and let me know what you think. I'm going to try to get up to their Grapevine location when I get a chance, and I will do a review of this as well. If you want to read a more full review, go over to TexasWineLover.com and look for the article by Jeremy Wilson. It's called Review of Messina Hof Cabernet Franc 2014. I'll put it in the show notes as well. It sounds awesome to me, and I love Cabernet Franc, and I hope you guys do too. So until the next episode, stay free. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I forgot to do plugs. You can follow us at Tasting Anarchy on Twitter. You can also follow us, look up Tasting Anarchy on Instagram. You can also go to our website, tastinganarchy.com, or email us at tastinganarchy@gmail.com. So that's it for our plugs. We do have one new special offer that Mason and I have cooked up for everybody. There's this really awesome website that we discovered called Last Bottle Wines. They offer 1 bottle of wine a day at a severe discount. All their wines are high quality, so if you kind of want to take the hassle out of doing a lot of wine research, go check out lastbottlewines.com/invite/tasting anarchy. By using that link, you'll get a $10 credit off your first purchase, and you'll also be helping out the show because we get a small kickback. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy Six McGee.
Drinking that mess is their delight. When it gets drunk, start fighting all night. Knocking down windows and tearing down doors. Drinking half gallons and calling for more. Drinking wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Pass that bottle to me. Hoy! Drink at me. Oh, give me some of that slop. Oh, pass that bottle to me. If you want to get along in Peterstown, buy some wine and pass it around. The age runs up to 49. All them cats, they love sweet wine. Drinking wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Pass that bottle to me. Hoy! Wine, wine, wine. Elderberry. Wine, wine, wine. Cherry, cherry. Wine, wine, wine. Blackberry. Wine, wine, wine. Port and sherry. Wine, wine, wine. Oh, pass that bottle to me. Now down on Gillsby at Willie's Den, he wasn't selling but American gin. One soldier wanted a bottle of wine. He hipped that cat for $1 and a dime. Drinking wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Pass that bottle to me. Now I got a nickel, have you got a dime? Let's get together and get some wine. Some buys fifth and some buys fourth. But when you get together, you're doing things smart. Drinking wine, sporty, you to drink wine. Wine, sporty, you to drink